Welcome. You've made it to the second annual Advocacy Team's Leadership Summit. Yeah, that also deserves a round of applause. By the way, for those who haven't met me in person, my name is Maya Zwirling. I am the National Organizing Manager with FCNL. I run our Advocacy Teams program and have really the honor to work with you guys on a daily basis and to support this network to be as powerful as it is. It's incredible to see so many familiar faces and also a lot of new faces. I think one of the biggest things that's going to be different from this year than last year is we have people who stepped into this work a week ago and 3 years ago when the network started. So that is a lot of wealth of experience, knowledge from all stages that I want to welcome today. I also want to welcome our folks on the live stream. You probably received a few emails from me about this, but we were so intent on having people being able to really engage in this work from across the country, even if they couldn't be a part of today, even if they couldn't come to Washington, D.C. So you want to turn the camera to them. On the count of 3, we're going to say welcome, okay? We're going to welcome our folks across the country. 1, 2, 3, welcome! People are going to be watching this live and also going to be connecting with us in the next week, seeing some of the really incredible work that we're going to do together in the next few hours. So, last Leadership Summit, we gathered just 4 days after the election. Take a moment to remember how you felt 4 days after the election. What was your heart feeling? What was your head feeling? What were your eyes feeling? Last year, I addressed this community with a fair bit of uncertainty of what was to come in terms of our political context. I spoke of being fearful and heartbroken. And most importantly, I spoke of feeling comfort and power and community within this very community. I talked about how the Advocacy Teams network, these hundreds of people who are committed to this work, to lobbying and engaging Congress, really gave me hope. For those of you who are here, you may have remembered the look in my eyes. It was a look of awe. Awe of this group of dozens of committed advocates. Then you guys were a network of hundreds. Now you guys are a network of 1,300 people. Wow. And this network came together, the folks who could join us in DC, with love, power, deep respect, and appreciation for the work we do on a daily basis of engaging Congress with relationship and with policies for peace and justice. And that really was a look of awe to be surrounded in that moment with such joy and with such strength. A year ago, we were 30 teams. Today, we are over 80 teams. I think we have 82. A year ago, we were in 20 states. Today, we have folks in 35 states across the country. Places like Kansas and Idaho that I thought would take a lot longer to get to. But folks stepped up in those communities wanting to be involved in this lobbying, grassroots lobbying work. A year ago, some of us sat here in shock and despair. And today, my guess is that some of you are feeling those same feelings. You might also be feeling a little burnt out. A little fearful for what's to come. And yet, as a community and as individuals, we are sitting here more resilient than we were a year ago. We are sitting here just as or more committed to peace and justice than we were a year ago. We are sitting here with the collective commitment to our voices as grassroots advocates to do this work. The commitment that we know that we need to be the ones doing this work. We are sitting here together. So today, on this second annual Advocacy Teams Leadership Summit, many of the leaders in the Advocacy Teams network get together to be in community, to grow our skills, to seek grounding, to connect, to learn. And for those of you who are staying for the rest of the week, I hope that today is the first opportunity for you to connect with fellow Advocacy Teams leaders from across the country, and that you'll build on the questions, the conversations that start today as we take the Hill tomorrow on Friday to lobby our members of Congress and their staff, as we sit in worship on Saturday in the business of FCNL, but also in the business of FCNL back at home, of the lobbying work we do on a daily basis. So I hope that you'll feed off of the relationships that you've started today. And one way you can do that is everyone is going to get an Advocacy Teams button. If you haven't already, there's some over there, and we'll get them to you by the end of today. And I hope that you'll use this as an opportunity to connect with each other, and also to talk with others in the 450 people that are coming to FCNL's annual meeting. I hope you'll talk to them about the work that you do every day, because you guys are really leading FCNL in your prophetic grassroots voices. So we have a packed time together. We're going to be together from 1 to 5-ish today. And we're going to have the opportunity to, as I mentioned, learn. So if you'll look over here, I'm going to go through some of the goals and agenda that we have today. So the three goals that I have, the first is to really energize each other for the year to come, and also just in this moment, through community and through networking. I want you guys to connect. And again, that doesn't just happen today. That happens in this coming week. I want us to really take the time to feel the impact of the work, to honor the work that we have done in this past year, and to think how we can apply the lessons of this past year to be the best advocates we can be in the future. And third, I'm excited to build and share skills. And we're going to do that in a few ways that I'll go over in a second. So to go over the agenda, we're going to spend the next half hour or so welcoming each other. We're going to have a few folks come and speak to us. Diane Randall, our executive secretary, really wanted to come say hi, to thank you guys for the amazing work you're doing. Then Tim Heisem from Lowenthal's office, who's a representative in California, is going to come, and he is really going to be a resource for us to think about. He's the chief of staff with Lowenthal's office, and he's going to be a resource for us to think about what effective relationship building looks like with offices. And I get emails from all of you guys all the time saying, how can I best engage with this office? What is the most strategic way? And we are going to have the staffer here that's going to be able to answer a lot of those questions. You're going to ask him directly. Then we're going to have a break, and then the next 2 hours are going to be spent with Vince, who maybe isn't in the room yet, and he is an expert in motivational interviewing. He's going to help us look and think about how language and how approaches to engagement can really be our tools for advocacy. As a part of FCNL's advocacy teams, you've already started that thinking, and we're really going to give you some kind of cognitive tools that you can use to be able to engage your members of Congress in a strategic way. keyword strategic. And then that'll take us to 4:30. We'll have some times for takeaway and reflection, and then we're going to close. I also want to take a moment. I've asked a few of the staff members that support this network to come and just say hi, to kind of wave so you can see their faces. You've probably seen their names over email. So we'll start over here. Emily Savin, behind the camera. Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. Emily is one of our 2 Advocacy Teams trainers, and she's joined me on the road this past year. She's really one of the main reasons why we've been able to reach 80 Advocacy Teams this coming year, or this past year. It's through her work. We also have Teresa Rugg, who is our other Advocacy Teams trainer. And Teresa, Emily's from Massachusetts. Teresa joins us from Washington State, and she is on the computer, on the phone with you guys on a constant basis, supporting your kind of collective work and our recruitment. We have Diane Randall, our executive secretary. And she'll say a few words in a minute. And then we have Abigail and Anthony, who are lobbyists on Pentagon spending. Just 2 seconds? Yeah.
Sure. I'm Anthony.
I'm Abigail.
I just want to say, more than anything else, thank you. Thank you for all the work you've done over this year. I'm new here. I can't tell you how inspiring it is to me every day to know that you all are out there every day doing what you're doing. This is unbelievable what Maya and this group has built. It's, to my mind, the envy of a lot of groups here in Washington, D.C. And, envy of a lot of groups here in Washington, D.C., and you all are phenomenal. So thank you so much for all that you've done so far and what you're doing here today and what you will continue to do. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks. And then we also have Christine Ashley, who's our Quaker Field Secretary, and she's brought a lot of you into this work. And we have Chris Letts here, who's our digital extraordinaire, and she is constantly behind the scenes supporting this work. And we have all of you, so let's give each other a round of applause. So we are going to have the opportunity right now to actually meet all of each other right now. We won't all be able to say hi together, but I want us to connect with those who are at our tables for a few minutes. So we're going to do a fun exercise that Emily helped me to put together. So each of you has a piece of paper on your desk or on your table. Yeah, great. And this paper says, one way I've grown in the past year of advocacy teams is. So whether you've just started this work or you've been doing it for a while, I want you to just ruminate on that question and write down 1 or 2 things that you've done this year, one that has kind of helped you grow, one way you've grown this year. And then in a moment, after everyone's written that down, we're going to go around the table and say our name, which advocacy team we're from, and share one way you have grown this year. Great. So we have about a minute or so to share that. If you need any more, we have some papers over here. Great. Yeah, right over here. Awesome. Here, I can go around and do that so you can participate. Great. So one way you've grown this year.